What's happening, Hardscapers? Today we're building a seat wall. Let's get into this. On the last two episodes of this series, we went through a concrete patio demolition, followed by our most difficult excavation of the entire season. And now we're gonna get started with building these first two steps going into the house. Whenever we're starting a patio where we have wall elements, step elements, those go in first. Those set our baseline and they are actually lower than our top of paver. In this case, we're installing a porcelain patio. So with that, we need to install these first so that we can then build up our base a little bit more, screed, and then lay our patio. So in this case, what we're doing here is we're screeding out an area, laying a few slabs. We're installing a 6-foot step, so our slabs equal 6 feet and are the perfect depth for our steps. And we don't always do this, but this is a nice way to be able to have a solid platform for our steps to sit on. And it also makes installing the remainder of the steps easy as long as those slabs are nice and consistent and there's no rocking back and forth here. So we lay out our steps, we complete some cuts, and we even chisel the ends to give a final rock face to those ends of the steps there. There's minimal cuts for this. It worked out pretty perfectly with the length of the steps, and then we put our 6-foot caps on top of it. And you can also see that we're running some lighting through the steps. That's for the steps themselves, but also for a wall on the other side of the patio here. And then we also added a little bit of a detail to be able to cut the step cap actually into this wall. This is an irregular wall where the rock face is going to be irregular, so that straight cap is not going to sit completely flush against it. So in this case, we cut it in so that we can push it right back and leave a minimal gap there. We also here took the time to cut this cap in. You can see I got to touch up or pull that one forward and straighten up this line. But with that, the cap actually goes underneath our next wall, as opposed to the cap lining up with the rock face. And then because rock faces are inconsistent, especially right here where it goes in and some actually come out, you'll be left with that gap. And now you could fill these insides up with 3/4 clear, which we'll still do, and then put some poly to touch that up. But poly is going to eventually erode away, cause unsightliness. This just is a permanent solution, then the best way to go about it. We've got our low voltage wire running to be able to do lights underneath this, and a light over there on that cap, that step, and lights all along here. And having a guillotine gets you those nice, beautiful straight edges, especially along that seat wall there. Just nice, good splits, as opposed to using our hammer and cold chisel like this. With our steps done, complete, we can now move on to the remainder of the wall that we have going around our patio. So we're doing a straight run here of that wall to retain the soil that's going to be leading up to the steps. And then we continue that straight wall with a perpendicular wall, which will be our actual seat wall. Now there's one area that's a seat wall, then our step, and then the remainder of our seat wall, which curves around as well. In this case of laying this wall, we actually didn't screed for it. We're laying it right on top of the base. You can do it either way. It's actually easier to do it with screeding, but laying on top of the actual base, we're going block by block here, making it sure it's level. And we build our seat walls very similar to a retaining wall. The only difference is the base extension is 6 inches behind the wall versus a retaining wall is a minimum of 12 inches behind the wall and 6 inches in front. In this case, the patio's in front. There's plenty enough base extension in front of this wall. And our base depth is 6 to 8 inches and with 6 inches of a buried wall block. Now with this, we adjusted it to give a slight angle on our first step because our client wanted a slight angle, and then for those steps to curve up into the top walkway there. So we adjusted this to be slight angle, and it just required a slight adjustment there. Once our first course is laid, it's nice and easy to just lay blocks on top there. So it's that first course that's going to take the longest amount of time to be able to actually do. A very important detail at these corners, the courses need to overlap one another. So with our first course, our step wall comes into our seat wall, And then for the next course, our seat wall course will actually go on top of our step course. So those courses need to overlap one another to tie into each other to give the most strength possible. You can also see we've already started laying the porcelain patio in this sequence. We stopped short of the actual seat wall because it's nice to be able to backfill against that seat wall, compact our base, screed for our patio, and then lay our patio on top of that first course of seat wall to then mark our cuts. That way we can get a nice tight cut right against our seat wall. Otherwise, it's a lot more difficult to do to be able to get a nice cut against the seat wall. You could build your seat wall up, lay as closely as you can to it, and then it's a bunch of measuring against that seat wall to be able to get a nice cut, which can be difficult, especially if that patio is not exactly parallel or square with your seat wall. Or even worse, where we have it here, we have a curved portion, which would be a lot more difficult to mark and cut. So essentially, we're building our seat wall base course along with our patio in tandem to be able to lay past it and get our nice cuts here. What I like to do for these is, especially when we're building a wall, is lay past the wall, and then I can follow the line of the wall and draw my line based off of that, giving myself about a quarter of an inch, because we do want a little bit between the wall and the porcelain. Once our initial course is down, like I said, it's a lot easier to just build that wall up. Now we're using a 6-inch block and 3-inch blocks, so they work together to give a nice random look to the wall when you're looking at it. And now we're just going ahead and building that wall up and looking to mix up each of those different sizes in that wall to make it look nice. Now you can see on our walls, some areas we do have gaps in behind the wall. That's fine for a retaining wall, completely fine. But once you get to a seat wall portion where both sides of the wall are going to be exposed, as opposed to a retaining wall where only one side is exposed, you want to make sure that you don't have those gaps in behind, otherwise they're going to show on the other side of the wall. So at about halfway through this wall, we actually have to make sure that our wall doesn't have those gaps in behind it, because it will be showing in the final product at the other side. Make sure to clean off the surface of the wall, make sure that there's no gravel or debris so that those wall pieces sit nicely. And with a seat wall, we'll actually add a bead of glue to each course to make sure that they lock in place. You don't have to do that with a retaining wall. The clips, the plastic clips that you see us putting into the grooves, work perfectly fine to keep that wall nice and stable. And then with our wall caps, these are natural stone wall caps. They come rock faced on one side, and in this case we need to rock face the other long side, as well as on this end portion of the wall, rock face the one short side that's going to be exposed. So in that case, we are using a carbide chisel tip and knocking off the smooth portion at the top and on the bottom to be able to give that rock face. And then we also have this curved portion of the wall, which we're going to do an entire video on how we actually cut these curved caps. And you can see here we installed those curved caps, and we also installed some under cap lighting throughout this wall to add a nice little feature and to provide some lighting at nighttime for our client for this project. And then to end things, we glue down our caps, get them nice and secure, line them up properly, and that is our final result at the end here for this project, for our steps and then our seat wall. We're gonna link relevant videos below that explain each steps of the process that we didn't do in detail here, including leveling your wall block, building a retaining wall, building steps as we did here, and installing hardscape lighting, under cap lighting. Hey, I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, please give this video a like, comment below any questions you may have, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.